In East Africa, a Kenyan court has thrown out parts of an anti-terrorism law seen as stifling the media, but it has left a provision allowing police to hold terrorist suspects for nearly a year without being charged. An opposition coalition and rights groups challenged the law, which was passed in December, saying it was hasty and undermined basic freedoms. Sections of the anti-terrorism law were deemed unconstitutional by a court on Monday. This is seen by some as partial setback for President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has faced mounting pressure to boost security after a series of Islamist attacks, including the September 2013 attack on Nairobi's Westgate shopping mall that killed 67 people. Parts of the Security Laws Amendment Act that would punish media organizations if they print materials likely to cause fear or alarm and place a cap on the number of refugees allowed in the country were thrown out. Left intact are provisions that will allow suspects to be held without charge for 360 days and compel landlords to provide information about their tenants. After the ruling, a group of people cheered and chanted in the courtroom. Kenyan opposition leaders, whose coalition was part of those opposing the laws, say Kenyans had come out as winners, even as they expect the government to appeal the judgment.
We shall exercise the right of the people of this country to go to the next court, which is the Court of Appeal. We have already heard that the state intends to appeal to the extent that we won, and we want to tell them, let them come along, we are ready for them, and we'll meet them in the next court. We shall not and shall never relent until the freedoms that Kenyans fought for, shed blood, lost lives, are exercised and enjoyed to the full.
The law was passed during a chaotic session of parliament in which opposition legislators, citing a threat to civil liberties and free speech, threw books at the speaker, shouted, chanted and sprinkled water over the deputy. In its ruling on Monday, the five-judge constitutional panel described the parliamentary scene as a loud consultation and found that the process had not raised constitutional problems. Under Kenya's anti-terrorism laws, 4 men were charged with committing a terrorist act by helping al-Qaeda-linked militants launch the murderous attack on the Westgate Mall. They are accused of giving support and shelter to gunmen following the assault on the Westgate complex. Well, for more discussions on the court's decision, joining us live via Skype from Nairobi is VOA East Africa correspondent Gabe Joselow. Now, Gabe, apart from the reaction from the opposition, what are Kenyans saying about the recent ruling?
Well, there's obviously from the rights groups who are also involved in this case, there's a big celebration going on right now. They saw these laws, these security laws, as being unconstitutional, as being passed in a really frenzied way without much public comment. So they're certainly very happy. As people have been saying, there seems like appeals are being prepared on both sides. So you can expect that the government is not particularly happy with this ruling, that is the presidency of Uhuru Kenyatta. So I'd expect that we'll see some stronger reaction from them in the coming days, and it is likely to go to an appeal.
Well, still there are some parts of that law that those who are opposed to it think should be taken out, and especially to do with the detaining of suspects. What is the opposition and the rights groups planning to do regarding that?
Right. Well, the rights groups are also planning to appeal this decision because they want to see basically the entire bill scrapped. While the High Court on Monday did remove a lot of the more controversial measures, the majority of the bill is still in place, including the one you mentioned that would allow suspects and terror suspects to be detained for up to a year without charge. So you're going to see the rights groups and the opposition are going to continue to fight this, and the government is probably going to continue to push forward as well. You know, what was interesting about Monday's ruling was that, the High Court said it's not that the problem is that Kenya was lacking in very good security laws. The problem was that Kenya was not enforcing the existing laws. So that's sort of the stance that they're taking right now, and so you're going to see the government probably try and defend these laws, but also a lot more talk about how to enhance the existing laws that are already in place.
And rather interestingly, it looks like the court has no problem with the chaotic scene that we witnessed in Parliament when that particular bill was passed.
That was surprising, yeah. If you watch some of the scenes of the parliamentary proceeding, it was just complete chaos. People throwing papers, throwing punches on the floor of the Parliament. And the Speaker had to just shout his way through the bill and go with a voice vote to get people to assent to it. That was a bit surprising, but I guess the High Court saw that there was enough of a procedure in place that they would allow it to stand.
We'll definitely watch the next stage in this drama. Gabe, thank you very much for your insights today. VOA East Africa correspondent Gabe Joselow reporting live via Skype from Nairobi.